The following is a presentation of Muddy River Sports.
Bow to the masters. Break it down.
Once again, it's time to break it down. This is the Muddy River Breakdown with Shuck Daddy and D.O.B. I'm Muddy River Sports editor Matt Shuckman, along with my trusty sidekick, Dapper Don O'Brien.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
That's all the Spanish I know.
Come on, you're not fluent.
We win?
You're not fluent
No.
in Espanol.
No.
We need our good buddy the Martian here if we were going to break it down in Spanish.
The Martian tweeted at me today because I was tweeting soccer. And
Oh, did he?
tweeted at me, yes.
Our good friend Andy Martinez, who now works for the Marquee Network, covering the Chicago Cubs.
Does a good job with
He
that.
does. He keeps me informed on what I'm hearing about our guy Riley Martin, Quincy University product in the Cubs organization. So anytime one of their
You're
prospects...
going to wear a Cubs hat one day.
Nope. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Riley makes the bigs, and you're not going to get a Riley Martin jersey.
You said hat.
Oh, okay, a jersey. You'd wear a jersey, though?
No, I wouldn't wear a shirt. I don't wear jerseys.
No.
And I never have. Never been that kind of sports fan.
I'll do a jersey. Although I do, the last jersey I bought, you know my last jersey that I bought?
No. Noach.
Correct.
Hey, all
An Andres
right.
Nocioni jersey.
Andres Nocioni.
Got it, and I can. It's
It either
fat
had
boy
to be
size,
Noach
so I
or
can
Pete
fix.
Myers.
No, I don't have a Pete Myers. I got a Noach though.
Okay. I mean, it had to be a Bulls jersey. I knew that was the case. Unless you got really aggressive recently and ordered a Tottenham jersey.
Now, see, I've been looking for. See, I wouldn't buy it because those guys, I think, change teams more than like NBA guys.
No
do.
question.
But I do need a Tottenham shirt.
Okay.
We are as we broadcast this, we're playing Nottingham Forest in something called the Carabao Cup or something. I don't know.
Sherwood Forest?
No, not
Sheriff of Nottingham?
Nottingham Forest. Yes. By the way, Sunday huge match.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
Leeds against Tottenham.
Oh, okay. Well, Leeds is going to take
Leeds
care
has
of
turned it
business.
around since they're 0-3 or 4 in your first 4 matches, and they've
Yes.
been getting it done lately.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
Americans, this is our last match until the World Cup break
Oh, okay.
for everybody in the EPL. This is your last chance to get Leeds in,
Thanks for filling me in.
and then the World Cup starting up.
Can you tell that I haven't really paid any attention?
You got too much other stuff going on in your life,
It's
Chuck.
been busy. It's been a busy few weeks.
This week you've been kind of quiet, though.
Sort of. It's been quiet from the standpoint we haven't had a lot of game night action.
Yes.
That'll pick up this weekend, obviously with Missouri District Championship football games, Illinois playoff game on Saturday at Central.
Yes.
John Wood Community College men's basketball at home both Friday and Saturday. The Quincy University men's and women's basketball teams starting with their lid lifters this weekend.
Both on the road.
Both on the road. So the GLVC GMAC Challenge or crossover or whatever they want to call it this year. But And then we've got the Quincy University volleyball team playing in the GLVC tournament.
Where's that at?
That's in East Peoria,
So it's neutral site.
neutral site. The Hawks are the number 1 seed and pretty much have wrapped up the number 1 seed in the Midwest region. From everything I'm being told.
Do they get to host
So
the NCAAs
they
then?
would get to host the Midwest Regional at Pepsi Arena the following weekend. So the 17th, 18th. So
Well, wait a minute, though. Do we already have stuff in there?
there will be a women's basketball 4-team extravaganza going on at
Those
Pepsi.
are daytime.
Well, they're going to schedule. They'll figure out the schedule, but they're going to have both going on at Pepsi Arena that weekend.
Wow.
But I believe the Midwest Regional should all play out the way it looks like it will. Quincy University women's volleyball team will be the number 1 seed in the Midwest Region. Will play host to the region tournament, and I believe the region tournament is Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay. And so they bring all 8 teams to one spot, or they do a goofy where they do
All 8 teams come to one spot.
Okay, because I know some.
No, region tournaments, everybody goes to the same spot.
What am I thinking about?
I have no idea.
Baseball doesn't baseball go to 2 different sites?
No, that's for they split the
For
region.
soccer.
Baseball, they split the region and then have a super regional.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
That's
of.
what you're thinking of.
It's changed a little bit.
It has.
Well, good deal. So
Like the end of this week, there's a lot going on. But in the meantime, and you said I haven't been that busy. Well, yeah, I have because we're starting to crank out
it's
basketball
back,
previews.
baby. The basketball tab is back.
And the basket in a
Kind of.
new
The
shape,
virtual
form,
basketball tab.
It's different, but it's back. So yes, and it's 2 versions, not just
versions.
one.
Okay,
So
so
back in the day when you and I worked at the Herald League, we always put together a basketball preview section, the basketball tab.
Okay, go ahead, and we'll go back
Okay,
to the
so
glory days.
Monday, November 14th,
Yes.
the girls preview section will land on our website, muddyriversports.com. It will be a PDF version that you can sit there and flip through, and with coverage of our high school girls basketball teams. The following Monday, the 21st of November, will be the boys version of that. So we will have all the teams on that are inside of our coverage area on both the Missouri and Illinois side of the river will be involved in that.
I've been working diligently on my stuff. I missed a deadline on one of my stories, so Mr. Shuckman, I'd like to apologize to you for that.
What am I going to do with you?
Although I did find out we had another team in our area, though, during this.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing is you never know which go year to year. You don't know who's co-oping with who
Yes.
or not co-oping, and it seems to change every year.
So Liberty and Payson do no longer co-op in girls basketball.
And Payson and Western used to co-op at one point in time.
Really?
Yes. So now Payson has its own team. Liberty has its own team.
Correct.
Pleasant Hill and Western, I believe, still co-op in girls basketball.
By the way, Liberty against Payson opening night, November 14th.
Dude, the Adams County Throwdown.
I mean, it's going to be there or not.
So, yeah, so a lot of basketball coverage will be dropping on our website here in the next week. We'll sprinkle in some stories on our website to link to the PDF version of our basketball preview section.
A labor of love.
It's a labor. We'll see if it's love at the end.
This time of year, back in the day when we had the print edition to worry about, and we'd have playoff teams and trying to get 80, well, not 80, we probably wouldn't have 80 teams, but although I don't know, we would do. I mean,
by the time you talk boys and girls from every team in our area,
we had the Tri-Rivers Conference, and we'd get something about every one of those little teams in there,
Yep.
those profiles, and boy, it took a village to get those things together.
and we somehow pulled it off every year.
We did. Those are. By the way, basketball's king around here. I don't know if you knew if basketball was king.
Yes.
Yes. Is that what the each
So
one of
should
the,
I put a basketball with a crown on top of it on the cover of our?
But no, you need a basketball with a little light with a little thing that puts on top of a can with a little wick coming out of it on fire. You can see basketball's king.
We'll come
That's
up with
probably the 1987-ish or so cover for the.
I'm sure we'll come up with something as creative as that. Maybe.
We need to look at those old tabs. Or those old. You can find those old tabs? I'm sure on.
I'm sure you can.
Online.
Especially the digital archives through the public library,
Yes.
which is awesome.
I told you.
Being able to look stuff up like that.
I told you.
Pretty awesome. So we're going to be transitioning into basketball here. More basketball talk on our podcast.
I got no problem.
I was out this week on Monday morning, bright and early.
5:30 a.m.
5:30 a.m. Pulled up at the gym at 5:20 a.m. Half expecting to see guys streaming into the gym, struggling to get there on time.
Yes.
I walk into Blue Devil Gym at 5:20. I think it was 5:22 a.m. And nearly everyone was there, and everyone was already in gear. I mean, they were already working out, doing drills. They got to it right away.
If you remember, if you have to play for Andy Douglas, you have to be there at least 14 minutes early.
Is that what?
Not 15. It doesn't like odd numbers. Either 14 or 16 minutes early.
Okay. Well, there were a couple guys who weren't there 14 minutes early.
Uh-oh. My kid was there 14 minutes early.
Your kid was there. By the way, though, the senior leader may have screwed up already.
What'd he do?
Just saying, he may have screwed up already.
Did he not genuflect in front of Shuck when Shuck came in?
Well, see, the last couple of years when I've shown up at 5:30 a.m.,
Yes.
one of the seniors has gone and gotten me a chair, so I don't have to sit on the stairs among all the backpacks. Nobody hooked me up with a chair this year.
Bad job by the prodigy.
I'm just saying. There was an example set the previous years, and I know he was there for one of them.
He was there last
He
year.
was there last year when Jeremiah Talton ran over and asked me if I'd like a chair. That'd be wonderful. Because, the players of that first day don't use the locker room.
Oh, they're not losing the locker room.
So like all the backpacks and stuff are...
They haven't earned the right to go in the locker room yet.
You're right. So everybody piles their backpacks and stuff up on the stairwell that leads up to the upper deck there at Blue Devil Gym. And normally when I come into practice, that's where I sit.
Yes.
Sit in the stairwell, watch practice, talk to guys, that kind of stuff. But the last few years, somebody has offered to get me a chair. Didn't happen this year.
Do I need to coach him up for if you go to subsequent practices that you can?
No, because it's over. That's just once they get to cuts and they get the teams decided who's going to be on varsity, who's going to be on JV, then there's never an issue because then they have locker room access and their stuff's in their locker and stuff. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out that.
All right. You need me to coach him up? I'll try to coach him up.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Hey, he is coachable. Can I share you a story about the
Sure,
Prodigy real
go right
quick,
ahead.
How coachable he is? So we're playing in Beardstown as a 10-year-old during the All-Star games.
Okay.
Baseball. And he's on the mound. Little fly ball goes out to right field. Right fielder didn't quite hustle over to get it. And he unlets a torrent of profanities. We'll just be honest.
Reed
Yes.
did or okay.
Yes. Reed did.
Reed was pitching.
So, I look at Stacy and I'm like, oh boy, I can't believe he's doing this. But okay, he's 10. He was a lot more rambunctious than he is now. Now he won't show that kind of emotion, but he did when he was a young.
Oh, he shows emotion on the floor.
He does, but not like, not at referees.
Oh,
or
no.
His teammates or anything like that.
But he still shows emotion.
Correct.
He would not drop profanity on the court.
Correct.
No, I agree with that.
Correct. So, or he knows how to do it better than he used to.
True.
So I said, oh, hey, buddy, I know you're upset, but next time, if you get upset with something, take your glove to your mouth like the major leaguers do and just talk into it. Well, I'll be darned if 2 nights later we weren't at the same place and he was, back then they pitched like an inning every game.
Yeah.
So it was not, it's not like either 100 pitchers one game and came out 2 days later.
Yeah, right.
They were, they would pitch like an inning a game. So he's pitching again. Same thing happened. Same kid just lets the ball go in front of him. And to his credit, he takes the glove, puts it right up to his mouth, and he's cussing into it. But at least at that point, we didn't have the entire Beardstown baseball complex wondering what the Quincy kid was doing, cursing. They couldn't hear it.
Okay, well, good.
So, if you need me, Mr. Shuckman, to have the Prodigy get you a
I just want him to. That's why I brought it up because I want him to hear it and go, "Oh man."
Yes.
I thought it'd be funny.
There you go.
It was a good time though. I was able to go out to Quincy High Monday morning and then over to Notre Dame for a while. Spent about 45 minutes at each practice.
That because you know what you're Mr. Equality. You're
I'm Mr. Muddy.
You're Mr. Muddy. You make sure that we give equal coverage.
We try
to each one. Each team got a tweet.
Yeah.
I thought we might see a photo gallery.
Yeah,
But you got other stuff going on.
Well, the camera just didn't work as well as I wanted it to.
You just weren't
Monday
feeling
morning.
it that day, huh?
No, I don't know. It's that transition to indoor sports. Mm-hmm. I'm used to shooting soccer and stuff outside. Yes, I've been shooting volleyball inside, but it's just different.
You'll get used to it.
Speed of it's different. So we'll have plenty of photos throughout the season.
I know.
Both schools, but it was good. It was good to be back in the gym. Good to be that feel for it.
So give me your first Shuck observations about each squad.
I like Quincy High. I like the mix they have. I like a healthy Camden Brown.
Yes.
Kid that he's one of those kids that can play above the rim. We're seeing some things they can do offensively. They've got experience now. Those young kids aren't as young anymore. They're still young. You got a group of sophomores who.
Yeah, but they played 1 million minutes.
Exactly. So they have experience, which is great to see. I think Ralph Wires looks really good. He will look really good. He and Longcore sharing point guard duties along the way. They have one senior, the Blue Devils do, who impressed me just with how hard he works.
Who's that?
His name's Reed O'Brien.
Oh, good. So he's working hard at practice.
Yeah. And to his credit, okay, so I understand you don't wear practice gear those first few days.
Yes.
You don't know who's on varsity, who's on JV. Mm-hmm. Are there going to be cuts where guys don't make it? I understand that entirely. So guys had different. Nobody came in practice gear as far as practice jerseys, practice shorts, that kind of stuff. So everybody's wearing their own stuff. I will give Reed O'Brien major props. He did wear a Blue Devil t-shirt that day.
Darn right. That's what he plays for.
Exactly, but not everybody did.
Okay, so he's really high on the team this year.
And I think he should be. I think they have a really good mix of young talent, high-level talent, and leadership.
One of the preseason polls is out. Did you see the Nesto Hoops polls?
I did.
Which is fine. They're like 12th in 4A, that's fine. That was
Are
way
they-
many spots higher than last year. Nobody.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody in the Western Big Six is looking at Sean Taylor's team up in Moline, and that's fine.
And
I just
then-
want to remind you who is the defending league champion,
There is only one defending league champion.
and who would that be?
That would be the Quincy High School Blue Devils.
Just saying, you can't refute facts.
You cannot.
But Moline's gonna be really good.
Moline is going to be really good. As we sit here and record this is National Signing Day at the start of the fall.
Yes.
National signing period, and Moline has 2 guys signing with Iowa today. So,
Yes.
pretty impressive.
Hey, Reed got something in the mail today from Iowa Wesleyan. Come on.
Hey, good for him.
Kidding. So the senior class are a little different, but we got a lot of good talent on there. What about Notre Dame? What's Notre Dame looking like?
Well, again, we talk about that
Talk about seniors. I got a million of them.
That's the thing. They have the kids who have been in the program now for 4 years or been on varsity for 4 years who are now hitting that senior level to where there are really high expectations because of that, because of the experience, because of the depth, because that group has been together for so long. Yes, no Jacob Wallingford right now. Had to undergo labrum surgery on his hip early in football season. Don't know if he'll be back, when he'll be back. Is there a chance? Who knows right now?
They're obviously a much different team with him than without.
Well, yeah, when you take a 6'9" kid out of the lineup or 6'8" or however exactly tall that he's listed as, you take that out of the lineup, team's top returning scorer. You take that out of the lineup, it changes things.
Yeah, I hate that for him.
But they're guard heavy now. They were going to be very guard heavy anyway, but even more so now.
Yeah, because Jake's even a face to the basket type guy.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. So, but I think there's a different energy about them, a different poise, a different air about them, at least for day one of practice, because they're seniors.
Yep.
Because there's so many guys that have been through it. They've been through the ringer and they understand it, so much better. And there's more confidence with that. And so I really think that they're a team that could get on a roll, and especially if they run their offense and get up and down the floor a little more, because they're so guard heavy and so athlete heavy.
They changed last year after the Quincy High game in that they started to press more and they started to play more 84 feet.
And they need to do that from the start this year.
Yes, I think that's something they're going to probably do.
Yes, I do too.
Now, they can probably do that against the majority of teams that they play.
Yep.
I don't know that playing 84 feet against Quincy High will do them any good, but
here's the thing: playing against Quincy High and some of the other high level teams on their schedule,
or Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin. Yes.
The teams they're going to see that are really going to test them will get them prepared for the Class 2A postseason when they could see a team like a Bloomington Central Catholic that can shoot it really well.
Well, and I think if Wallingford doesn't get hurt in that sectional game, they probably win that.
I don't think there's any doubt
Yeah.
in my mind. Yes. Even as good as Cole Serta was in that game and all season, I still think Notre Dame wins that game because he was Wallingford was an X factor that night.
So they're gonna hurt without him this year. But and I hate it for Jake because he's a good kid and has really worked hard and done a lot of things to try to get him to this spot, and to get that taken away being an injury is really tough.
So it's going to be interesting to see how both of those programs progress, throughout the preseason, and then once we get to Thanksgiving week and Thanksgiving weekend, just you actually get on the floor against another opponent and see where it goes from there. But again, we'll have plenty of preview stuff coming up on our site, as well as a PDF preview section. All the boys stuff will drop November 21st.
That's awesome. So the 14th for the women, the 21st for the men, or the boys and the girls.
Boys and girls, yep. So,
that's good stuff, Chuck.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it turns out as well online as it is in my head right now.
Yes. Yeah. So you've had me doing some work.
Yep.
I've been talking to some coaches. Talked to Southeastern's coach, Brett Ufkas, last night, and did a story about them. Of course, they've got Danny Stevens, who he said is the best Class 1A player in the state, and I don't think there's any reason for me to dispute any of that.
I think that could very well be the case.
They're interesting in that they've got Danny, but they don't have a whole lot behind him.
No.
So he said, "Look, we're going to have to get him 20 shots a game."
Good
they're
last
gone.
year graduated.
Yep. So you got them. Who else did I enjoy? I enjoy talking to everybody. Brown County girls will be pretty good again this year.
And the Flynn
Brown
twins
County
and
boys
Ashley
will be,
Markert.
Brown County boys will. They're going to be work in progress.
Well, Colby Wirt and Cole Beheimer.
Yes.
We're kind of where that starts. And then they got some young kids. I believe
Yep.
Tice Fullerton's playing.
Yep, that's correct.
So they've got kids that were part of that baseball team that went to the state tournament and finished second in state.
Maverick
Henry.
Henry's going to be probably a starter for them as a sophomore.
So you got guys that started on a team that finished second in state in baseball, a team that went to the playoffs in football. You know, they're just kids that know how to win.
Yep, they're going to be pretty good too.
I
Now,
think Central's going to be a team in our area
Yep.
to watch out for. Briar Wiskirchen, Isaac Genenbacher, Nick Moore. I mean, you're talking guys that know how to win.
yep, they played there forever too.
Yeah. So I think our area scene is going to be pretty balanced. Where we all knew last year Liberty was really good. And we had the feeling Southeastern was going to be really good.
Yep.
And it ended up being the case. Both of them made it to the super sectional. Liberty wins. Liberty goes on to state, finishes second. I don't know right now if we have a team in our area that we sit there and look at and go, they're a team to look at for the Final Four.
Yeah.
Could that develop? Sure.
Not in boys basketball. Girls we do.
Yeah, girls we do. But in boys, I don't think right now we have that.
No. I
A
agree.
team that you
on the
said-
Illinois side.
on the
Anyway. I
Illinois
don't think
side.
we have anything in the Missouri side either, do we?
Not on the boys' side.
No.
No, because Monroe City took huge graduation losses. But again, they've won 4 straight district titles, 4 straight Clarence Cannon Conference championships. Brock Idris will find a way to get something done over there. On the girls' side, obviously we have the defending Class 2A state champion right in our own backyard. And then we've got a couple teams in Class 1A that I think are going to be really good. Another team in Class 2A that's going to be really good. And then a team, I think, in Class 2A that I think everybody's going, oh, man, they lost a lot for graduation. That's still going to be good. And
Who's that?
That's Illini West.
Okay.
Because Grant Supernant's done a really nice job of building that program.
So I had who was it? I had it was Brett Ufkas last night. Said, tell Shuck we need to have a top 10 every week. He says he misses the top 10 that the back in the day of the Herald League, we'd have a top 10 boys and girls teams every week. So give me not a top 10.
Okay.
Leave the 2 Quincy teams out of it
Okay.
because they're we're bigger than everybody else. Give me your top 5 just off the top of your head, top 5 boys teams, not including Notre Dame or Quincy High.
Okay. From our area,
Either Illinois and Missouri, mix them up.
Central.
Okay.
We're going boys first.
And this is no order. This is just 5 teams, no order.
Just five teams outside that I want to see that I think are going to be
And if you want to
really
say
good.
this would be my top team, you can do that.
This is good. These are the 5 teams I think are going to be pretty darn good.
Okay.
Central,
Okay.
Southeastern.
Okay. Even without anybody really, not a lot of experience behind him. But yes, he's the best player in state. Yes, I get it.
Danny Stevens is really good.
Yes.
Okay, so you got that. The one on the Missouri side I'm intrigued by is Palmyra.
Okay.
Bear Bach and the boys.
All right.
I think they could be pretty good. I'm anxious to see what Pittsfield does,
Okay.
coached by Brad Tomhave. And I'm going to give you a maybe not my sleeper, but a team that I think will surprise some people. Payson Seymour.
All right. Well, it's interesting. I broke it down with Tyler Dushinsky about Pace, and they're going to be more of a 5-out team this year, too.
But I think he's got a good 5-out. Like, I think he's got good
Yes.
guard play. And now we're in his second year at the helm.
Yep.
So I think that's going to help. There would be my 5 boys teams right up, just off the top of my head.
Tell me about it.
And I haven't written any of my boys previews yet. So
Chuck, your deadline is coming. Your deadline is Friday.
my deadline's
Your deadline is Friday.
my deadline's when I get it done.
5 girls teams now. Again, not including Quincy High or Notre Dame.
Pretty simple. Unity,
Okay.
Brown County,
Yep.
Central Southeastern,
Okay.
Palmyra, who
Okay.
might be outside of Quincy Notre Dame the best girls team in our area.
The one that would be possibly a Final Four team.
Yes. They're loaded with talent.
What about South Shelby? Aren't they going to be good again this year?
They will be good. I just don't know much about them because they're not technically in our coverage
Okay.
area.
Very good. I'm sorry.
They're in the Clarence Cannon Conference.
Yep.
Miranda Patterson, their star guard who's going to Maryville. So
we don't go all the way to Shelby County. I
Not yet.
apologize.
Not yet. We're
trying to get there
We're
one
still
day.
building the
Yes.
Muddy River
Empire.
Empire. So we're getting. We've added some teams this year.
Who's team 5 on the girls' side? You only gave me 4. You got
okay.
a 5th?
Trying
You said Unity Brown County. You had Central Southeastern. You had Palmyra.
Palmyra.
Anyone on the 5th? I'm trying to think.
Illini West.
Okay,
probably.
that's probably a safe bet because they're always pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's where we go.
I'm hyped about hoops. I'm ready to go.
I am too. I think it's.
And
gonna
even
be a
though
lot of
I know
fun.
my kids playing, but every year I loved basketball. Basketball's my
Well, like I
season.
said, it was. I got up at 4:30 Monday morning to go to practice.
Yeah,
I think I'm a little excited about
Yeah.
basketball season.
without a doubt.
Yeah, and that's not to take away from anything that's happened this fall.
Yep.
Because the teams I've covered this fall and a lot of the people I've been around have been a blast.
Yes.
Being able to do a few different things this fall for me was so enjoyable.
Yeah.
Obviously, over the years, the mainstay of sports journalism that we grew up on, that probably, is the backbone of it has always been game stories.
Yep.
I kind of ditched the game story this year. From my
For you'd have me and you'd have other people go out and do that.
exactly, and what it did is it allowed me to go sit at a game, talk to people, talk to fans, talk to coaches, players, whoever, and soak in the moment.
Yep.
Find a spot to watch a game from that I've never been to before. Sit on the tailgate of the truck at a game, and watch a game, and and talk to people.
And not be so wrapped up in what the stats are.
I didn't keep
or
any
anything.
stats. That was the thing. That was the thing on some of these games. Yeah, I had my notebook and I had my tape recorder and I had all my gear, and a lot of it just stayed in the bag.
Yeah.
Because I just sat there and talked to people, found a story. People wanted to do Shuck on a Truck, which was a
Popular.
blast. It did. It was great, and I'm going to try to do the same thing with basketball, especially on a Tuesday night, because a Tuesday night's the night where Notre Dame and Quincy High don't play often. They play some, but not often. Tuesday night's been traditionally a big night for area schools, for the smaller schools. Tuesday night should give me the opportunity to go and hang out.
Yep.
Go to Mendon for a Unity girls game and just hang out and find something fun to write about with that group.
Yep.
I've had the conversation with some people, some students and some coaches, that because of winter, because you're inside, doing a game night Shuck on a Truck may not be as easy.
You mean you can't tell me you can't get to the truck inside a Blue Devil gym?
Well, I'm sure we can figure out a way. But we talked about doing Shuck in the stands.
Shuck in the stands. Let's go.
Sit in the student section for a game.
Yeah.
And then maybe tape a little segment at halftime or something
Yep.
like that. But sit in the student section at these, not just Quincy High, but, obviously that would be one of them.
Yeah.
But sit in the stands and write a perspective piece or a column of what it's like to sit there behind the bench and have the kids go crazy and
That'd be good.
something different.
That's what you've got. I mean, with this vehicle, you can do those types of things.
And that's, I enjoyed this fall so much because of that. Yes, I got to tell some great stories about some great teams. I mean, when you have a team win a state title, when you have teams go as far as they did in the postseason in other sports, and it's a team we're talking about, state title, QND boys soccer. But it wasn't always, here's who scored, here's what time they scored, here's who had the assist, or in volleyball, here's who had the most kills, here's who had the most assists.
It is a little
find
liberating.
a story.
As much as I love box scores and I'm a numbers guy, it is a little liberating after the game not have to figure out my box right away and figure out who did what. And
I know we have people who ask, are you going to put box scores in there? No, we're not.
you just don't have the time or
We don't have the resources, the people, the time to.
Plus, there are
Talk about
outlets
that
for that. Like I found out, especially with volleyball, those volleyball programs are really good about putting all their stats online.
Yeah.
It might not.
And a
football
lot of these,
too.
and a lot of the football teams, this fall loaded their stuff to Max Preps right away or Huddle.
Yep.
And you were able to find it relatively easy.
Yeah. But see, the older consumer doesn't consumer. Here I'm in my BBB talk. But the older reader doesn't. They don't go to the internet. They want that. They want that in their hands and to be able to shake and to read, and it's just
not the same anymore.
No, those days are over.
We will continue to provide as best the coverage we can
with the resources we're given,
with the resources we have, and try to give you something different every week.
We'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little football.
Well, I was going to bring that up. I know we've been talking a little basketball.
We've been talking basketball for 30
We're starting
minutes.
to get into that basketball mode, but we still have football going on. And we just wrapped up some football this past weekend.
Let me ask you a question then to start us off on our football talk.
Go for it.
How far is the Central South? They're lone wolf now over in Illinois. How far will Central Southeastern go in the playoffs?
Central Southeastern.
I'm sorry, Central.
Just
Excuse
Central.
me. See what I'm talking
Because
about?
there was a
time when they were Central Southeastern.
There was.
Excuse me, the Central High School Panthers.
There you go. Without having looked closely at the bracket as far as what lies ahead,
I'm being told that they are going to win this week by
they are
experts that have no affiliation to them.
they are going to win this week.
Yes.
I really, truly believe in their defense.
Their defense is good. They scored more touchdowns last week. Those guys are
I think their defense
six monsters.
is good enough to carry them to a state title game. Is it good enough to win a state title? Not sure, because I don't know what's on the other side of the bracket. I haven't looked that closely at the Class 1A bracket. Forgive me. But I will dig into that more here in the next couple of days as we write preview stuff for this weekend.
So you like their defense. The defense is going to carry them as far as
dynamite.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I've heard things about they've got a WIVC rivalry with Greenfield. Okay, well, one, it's not a rivalry.
Because they never play.
They hardly ever play each other.
Yes.
Two, they're both very good. Mm-hmm. But it's at Central, and Central's dynamite.
So you got Central all day long.
I got Central all day long.
All right.
Our boy Stevie Dirt will be there
Friday or Saturday game.
Saturday afternoon.
Ooh, does he have a sock hat?
I don't know, because it's going to be chilly on Saturday. The high of 37 is what the last I saw on Saturday.
Does Stevie Dirt do the cold?
Well, he is this week. That's all right. He'll go get a pork chop sandwich and he'll be happy. That was the funny thing last week is we were setting up our schedules for who was going to go where for all the playoff games, and I had gotten a message saying, am I going to Central on Saturday from Stevie Dirt? And I said, yes, that's where I'd like you to go. And he goes, great, my appetite is ready.
My appetite is ready.
He wants to know what's on the menu, these places where he goes.
So we got them on Saturday. Friday night, we got a couple ball games we need to worry about.
Yes, we do. We have Hannibal playing for a district championship in Class 4.
Am I going there?
No, you're going to go to Monroe City.
I'm going to, okay, boss. I didn't know where you're going to have me.
Monroe City, South Shelby. CCC
matchup. A rematch of a 46-8 game from earlier this season.
Yeah, I know. But Adam Gunnerman, I don't think South Shelby stands a chance. I think Monroe City's that much better.
South Shelby's had a good season, though.
But South Shelby's had a really good season.
But they're running into a buzzsaw.
Yes, no question about it. But Adam Gunnerman and what he's done at South Shelby. Now, Adam Gunnerman, a Pleasant Hill product, who was an assistant at Palmyra, now the head coach at South Shelby, has done a phenomenal job with that group. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, he's got some weapons. That helps. It helps to have athletes.
You got to play, yeah.
You know, Trey Countryman at quarterback.
You got to have some Jimmies and Joes.
You have to, and he has some Jimmies and Joes. But he's done the right things as head coach to set this team up for success. Can I think can he devise a plan to make this game interesting? Maybe. But Monroe City's loaded.
Yeah.
You know, Waylon DeGrave, Keaton Pennywell, Cam Jones. I mean, just that triumvirate in the backfield is just going to run over
When I
people.
saw them play, I don't, they beat Macon. They didn't turbo clock them, but they beat them pretty handily.
Right.
And they probably played maybe a C game that they didn't play great that day.
So imagine if that team plays great.
I mean, I hope to see it. I mean,
yeah.
Again, Friday's gonna be cold too. I got to worry if I got my sock hat.
I'm sure you can find one. Do they make?
They do make them big enough for my head. I do have one, but I don't have any gloves right now. I'm gonna have to go get some gloves.
See, that was the problem I ran into. Now, okay, this weather this postseason's been up and down and crazy.
Can't we get 70 to hold on until Friday?
Well, we had days of 70, and then we had days where the wind was brutal and your hands are
like
freezing.
Saturday afternoon when the Quincy High School football Blue Devils were trying to throw the football.
Yeah, that was just horrible circumstances. Macomb ran into the same thing.
So your game was somewhat like mine then.
Yeah, because we had two teams that like to throw the ball as a big part of their offense that were limited because the wind was so strong.
And Quincy High School had such a great season. And it's unfortunate. And again, I'm not, obviously Lamont played in the same wind. Yeah. I'm not making any excuse for them. But Lamont, I tell you what, they scored all 38 of their points with the wind behind them.
Yeah, you have to.
And
you have to take advantage of it.
Yes. And I tell you what, I think every point in that, let's see, Quincy scored 3 in the first quarter with the wind behind them. And they scored 21 with the one behind. Yeah, they scored every point.
They would have gone in to win the second quarter, wouldn't they?
Yes, they did score one touchdown. Yes, Urias had a short touchdown run, but they mainly ran the ball on that drive. So
Right.
okay, so all but one touchdown in that game was scored with the wind.
With the wind at the back.
And it was interesting to hear Rick Little break down the chess match between him and the Lamont coach, because they deferred. They're obviously going to take the football.
Right.
So it all depends on what Lamont wanted to win in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. Up 17-10, they took it in the third quarter, and then unfortunately, they picked off Braden Lopez, returned it like a minute into the third quarter, and after that,
That hurts.
it was tough. But the difference in Lamont is a complete team. Their defense was good. Now, I don't think they're beating Eastside, but if they can get past this week and play Eastside, that would be a good game. I would like to see that, and I will probably watch it on NFHS or wherever I can find it. But nothing for Quincy High School at 8-3 to hang their heads about.
No, not at
they
all.
They were, Moline got them pretty easily.
Yeah.
Could have easily beat Sterling.
But I think Quincy I made adjustments defensively after getting run over by
Mm-hmm.
Moline that made them better by postseason.
Moline ran for 500 yards in one game on them.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. They made
Yeah.
adjustments to that after getting jackhammered on the ground.
Yeah.
And it got better. And the defense got better. Right there, lost in overtime to Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's no reason at all for them to hang their heads. Great season with a lot of great things to come.
Without a doubt. I mean, you
Jonesville's-
don't know what's going to happen in the transfer portal for other teams.
True.
You don't know when a 6'10" kid from Iowa is just going to plop down in Moline's backyard,
Right.
Or whatever it might be. Rock AIS basketball's got some transfers come in too, of course, but we don't usually get transfers down here at in Quincy anymore.
Not in a while.
Used to be.
Not in a while.
Now the transfers now are 6 foot kids from Triad, not 6'7" ballers from Antigua. Where was Martinez from? Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Dominican.
Dominican
Republic. So, yeah.
Juan Martinez. Yes. So or Luis Rivas. He was.
He was Puerto Rico, wasn't he?
Yes.
And then we had the Croatians and
Yes.
Estonians. And
Estonians. Yes.
yeah.
But it took a domestic to bring the whole thing down.
How about that?
A little guy from Pittsfield.
Crazy. That seems so long ago.
But it really wasn't.
It was 2 decades.
Was it really 20 years ago?
20 years ago. This is my 25th season covering the Blue Devils.
That's insane.
Isn't that? It's crazy.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the 02-03 season when all that stuff happened.
This one, Quincy Pride. Quincy Pride. 20-year anniversary of Quincy Pride.
That's right.
Are they still fundraising or not? Are they 501c3?
No, they're not.
They're not doing anything anymore.
No, nothing like that's happening.
But Quincy High School football. Back to them real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got. They had their senior class was obviously helped lay the foundation, but
Correct.
they've got so
No
many
question.
crazy good players coming up.
Both juniors and sophomores. And freshmen.
Yes, correct.
Todd Smith was a beast
Yes.
as a
Well,
freshman.
Todd Smith got a big paw on a field goal
Yeah.
and blocked it easily last Saturday. So
And he's going to be a heck of a wrestler too for the
Is
Blue
he?
Devil, for the Grapplers this winter.
grappling preview,
Yeah, it will happen at some point.
but not a book.
No,
Okay. Not
we don't have enough teams
Yeah. Right.
in our area. But I will say we've got some really good grapplers at Quincy High School. Mm-hmm. Hannibal still has some good ones. You have Colin Arch, undefeated in his high school career at Palmyra. Macomb has Ethan Ladd and Max Reiner. Kind of lead their way there. 2 guys that will be state qualifiers. So, I think we're going to have, and then you got a slew of guys at Central that are very good. So we'll have some really good wrestling in our area.
We need to do shuck in the stands in a singlet.
I'm not putting on a singlet. Don't worry about that. That will not happen. I'll sit in the stands and put the ear protectors on.
You will.
Oh, yeah.
But you would not. But,
But I'm not-
You
no,
look like
I'm-
Rick Steiner from back in the day when
Yeah.
the Steiner brothers were.
Yeah.
He'd carry the little earpieces around with him with the headgear. I guess.
No, there will be no singlet.
All right. Sorry, ladies. We tried.
We may have just gotten everybody to turn off the podcast by bringing that up. By the way, next year we've got to figure this out. I threw it out on Twitter.
Yes.
Our boys from up north, View from the West
Yes.
podcast.
They do a great job.
Do a great job.
They need to do a view from the south.
Well, I threw out the idea, and we got some response to it that thought it would be a great idea that we have a crossover podcast sometime in the next fall.
Oh, I'd
with
love
them.
that.
Have them join us. We'll
Of
join
course,
them.
we're not going to be able to talk about the NICU 9 or the...
No, but we could talk Western Big Six with
Yeah.
them. We could do a Western Big Six crossover podcast with them.
Yes.
Those guys do a great job of covering high school
Yep.
football, Western Big Six, the NICU 9,
Yes,
you know,
what is it? Lincoln Trail still
Lincoln
around?
Trail.
Yeah.
So
They do 8-man stuff too? They do. Yeah, they talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those guys do a great job.
Yep.
Love listening to them. Love sharing information with them.
Yep.
So, yeah. So next year we got to figure out a way to make that happen. We got to do a
Do
crossover
we meet in
with
the
them.
do we meet in the middle? Do we like go to Macomb somewhere and do we bring our? Can we take this on the road?
We could figure out a way to record. Maybe I don't think. Yeah. No. We can't take our recording board here.
We can't take the board.
No, we can't take the board with us to Macomb.
Golf won't know it's gone.
But Golf doesn't know what's going on anyway.
He does too. He's just napping.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think we gotta connect with them and do that. That's a good idea. Meet in Macomb.
Macomb,
Go to Chicks on the Square or the Sports Corner or
wherever you want.
what's the pizza place that replaced Aurelio's? But I heard the pizza's the same. I heard pizza's just
really?
as good.
We went to some place called Chubby's when we went there a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago. You know, I mean, I had already eaten, so I didn't. But the guys I was with, they had a good meal.
Okay. Never been in there.
It was fine. I guess it used to be the Gin Mill.
Oh, okay.
The Gin Mill's now a restaurant. The Gin Mill, I got really hammered in there once.
I was driving through Macomb this weekend, and when you come into Macomb, typically there's the place that used to be called the Regulator.
Yes.
Know where that is, and then there was the Pace.
Yes.
It was being remodeled. I don't know what it is, who owns it now or whatever.
Is the Pace the one right on 34 or 67? What's the one?
No, Pace is right across from the park downtown.
Oh, okay. All right. And then, of course, the Red Ox is dead.
The Red Ox is dead. But
I'll tell you what, that place is going to be like Radiator Springs now with that road.
But it was funny because I had a little time to kill when I got to Macomb
Yes.
on Saturday. So I was just kind of cruising around a little bit, and it brought, I had buddies that went to WIU
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. So it brought back memories of some establishments that
Sure.
we went to.
Yep. Without a doubt.
Made
They're
me-
no
made-
longer there.
It made me laugh, thinking of some of the stupid stuff we did.
The tomfoolery and the chicanery that went on.
We were young then.
Yes, young and dumb.
We're still dumb, but now we're just old.
Yep.
Now we're old and gray.
Yes. Tell me about it.
So, anyway,
What else we got to hit? We got anything else we got to hit here?
No, I think we're caught
Tottenham's taking out Leeds, by the way, on Sunday. I'm telling you.
Sure.
You don't care? What about World Cup? Are you going to get into the World Cup? We're trying to get you into this.
No.
The U.S. is in it finally.
Yeah, I'll pay attention.
I don't have high hopes for us, though.
Do we ever?
Well, yeah. Remember the one time we went to Longo's at like 2 a.m. and watched it?
Yeah, it was like a 3:30 start or something, and we
Yeah.
had breakfast at Longo's.
Yes, with like 28 other.
Yeah, there was a whole
fans.
bunch of people there, and then we went to the office and
Yeah.
wrote about it and put the paper out. And
Yep.
what were we thinking?
Those are the days. It was something cool to do.
It was a blast. Maybe Longo will have us over this time.
He's got a palatial estate now. He should have us over. Although it's too cold to swim.
It's too cold to get in the pool, but he could have us over to watch a game.
He could. You set that up.
I'll bug him about it.
Yeah.
He's got nothing else to do.
No. His season's
He's retired.
Over. He's retired. His John Wood season's over. He's not doing
Exactly.
anything.
He's a bum.
Pretty much. You said it. I didn't.
Well, we are now on the precipice of basketball. Still a little football going on. We'll see how long our teams last as we venture deeper into the postseason. But I am looking forward to seeing what happens on the hardwoods.
As am I.
Should be a lot of fun.
Yes.
How about we do this again next week?
Let's do it.
Sounds good. For DOB, I'm Chuck Daddy. This has been another episode of the Muddy River Breakdown. Catch us again next week.
Muddy River Sports. Our home, our sports.